Welcome to MissouriNet.com. Time for our weekly visit with Jason West, the communications director from MSHSAA. Happy Father's Day.
Oh, thank you very much. I also have to have a shout out. Today is my 19th wedding anniversary. So a huge thank you to Audra.
Yeah, very good. We just celebrated 19 back in May, so we're on the same timeline. So
Very good.
you guys go through the same thing. We kind of talked about. It's like 19. It's like it's out there. It's not 20. It's just it was good that you at least had a shout out there. I mean, for us, it's kind of like we exchanged cards at the card store. Here, this is what I would get.
Well, I think the best one was when my father realized he could no longer give me marital advice because I had been married longer than he had.
Now he'll be coming to you now, right?
Exactly.
That's good. All right. Last week we talked about emerging activities, and I want to share this. This was the story that we had on MissouriNet.com about some of the sports and activities, more activities, I guess you'd call them. Bass fishing, bowling, chess, target shooting were some of the activities that we had talked about. I got a lot of good feedback on bass fishing, and you have some people that are meeting with you today. You were kind of talking last week about how you kind of fit into this and kind of let the schools mold things together, but just maybe talk a little bit more about that.
Sure. And we're kind of in that catch-22 scenario right now. We put out our schools interested in forming teams or having this as a championship level activity, and got the responses back for those, and put it on the ballot, and they voted yes, we want these activities to become emerging activities, with bass fishing being one of them. So now it's our responsibility as an office staff to formulate those activities and mold them into a competition that will work at the high school level. That may be copying some of the regulations from another organization, and then making sure we have all of the proper eligibility requirements and those type things, and to make it our own event to fit the high school level specifically, and not just an amateur event. So that's kind of where we're at right now, and in that process, while we only have, I believe it was 26 or 30 schools registered, there may be more than that are interested in having a program, but they're willing to see what those rules and regulations will be before they actually say, yes, we can have a team or we can field a team because of these different scenarios. So that's one of the meetings that Harvey Richards will be the executive that will administer that activity after a long, drawn-out inter-office fight to the death. We had a number of people volunteer to administer, take over those duties, and Harvey came out on top of that competition. And no, it did not require any fishing, but he has a meeting set up with some people this afternoon to kind of help go over that. We've already talked about insurance requirements, boat drivers and all those type things. And so we've got some information on the website of that. And so this is just kind of furthering that process along this afternoon, hopefully.
That was my next question. It was just exactly what you said, was insurance. How much does that stuff play a part in this? Because this is, listen, sports and activities, there's varying levels of danger, but this is something that's obviously a little bit different. And who's going to drive boats? How are kids going to get down to these places? Land usage, all of that. So I'm sure there's so many things that have to go into this that while everything sounds like a great idea and people are interested, like you said, other schools say, okay, well, now how do we facilitate this? And so that's where you guys step in then.
Yeah, it's fishing. We do that every weekend. I've got my boat, I've got my reel. Let's go. But once the school kind of takes ownership and says this is a school team, now there are liability issues. There are insurance issues, and you have to have proper boat captains have to be over 21. They can't just be your big brother or another student who actually has his family's boat. All the proper gear and life jackets and certifications and driver's license and those type things now all come into play that we kind of take for granted when we're out there on the weekend fishing with our families. And so those are some of the things that schools take into consideration, and some of the costs too that are involved with the sport or activity.
Talking with Jason West from Misha, not to put you on the spot, and this is not to hold you down, but as we kind of follow up with more of this information and you start considering and you start thinking about everything that goes into it, what's a best case scenario that this could become from an emerging activity to an actual activity when you just look at everything that has to go into it? What's a timeline like this take?
Well, best case scenario, you're looking at 3 years because you have to maintain the number of participating schools for 2 consecutive years. That's where you have 50 schools that encompass at least 3 of the 8 board districts for 2 consecutive years. And then at the end of that second year, it can be placed on the annual ballot to be voted on by the full membership of becoming a championship level activity. And then that would begin with the 3rd year. Right now, we're still trying to get to that 50 plateau before it can start the clock, if you will. So we're still looking at the best possibility of 3 years down the road of having an actual championship event.
Well, that's good. You know what? I wanted to cover a couple of other things, but since we've got the summer, we've got a little bit of time to play with. Let's save them and let's tease these then for the next couple of weeks. I'd want to talk about the 25 days of contact. We're getting ready for football. I know some teams are holding conditioning right now. I'd like to talk to you a little bit more about that. And then maybe on another future hangout, I'd like to talk to you about officiating and how you guys go about finding officials. What if somebody wants to become an official? Maybe the steps that it takes in that process as well.
Oh, yeah, that would be great. In fact, coming up in July, on the July, I believe it's the 27th, it's a Saturday, we have Officiate Missouri Day, which is going to be held in St. Louis, and have a number of nationally recognized officials coming in. That's actually going to be kicking off the NASO, the National Association of Sports Officials annual conference that's going to be in St. Louis that next week. So that would be great to be able to talk about getting new officials and also maintaining the officials we have now.
All right, that's good. All right, I got us stuck on bass fishing again. Maybe we just need to go fish. That's what we need to do. We need to host a hangout while we fish.
Well, the one of the best conversations we've had on bass fishing is where are we putting the media workroom? So we're trying to figure out if we have to have 2 pontoons or if we can just fit them all on one.
A big flotilla. That sounds good. All right, Jason West from Misha joining us again, and as we said, we'll talk about football practices and contact over the summer and officials. That'll be coming up too. So make sure you check us out here at MissouriNet.com. And have a great day. Thanks for watching.